And now we move on to our update on what's happening in foreign affairs with our foreign affairs contributor, Brian Palmer. He is here to talk about the Iranian election, as well as all things Syria. And there's a whole bunch to talk about there. Brian, it's always good to see you.
Hello, Debbie.
All right, let's jump right in. So we talk about the election of Hassan Rouhani, and much has been made of the fact that he is a moderate. But what does moderate mean in Iranian terms as opposed to what we think it means in American terms?
Well, first of all, it's great to follow Arash Khalekbari because moderate, moderation, moderate, the term kept coming up in his conversation. And I think you're right. I think we have to look at that term in the context of Iranian politics. So other terms, centrist, pragmatist, have also been brought up. What does that mean? Well, he, in campaigning, says that he supports greater transparency for the nuclear program. He's spoken out saying that this may be time to release the leaders of the Green Revolution. So these are the people who took the lead after the rigged election that put Mahmoud Ahmadinejad into power for a second term. But we also have to remember that he's a consummate insider. He has been an advisor to the supreme leader for years and years. He has been a member of parliament. He's been national security advisor. He himself is a cleric. And he also supports Iran's right to what they call a peaceful nuclear program. So moderate, yes, but again, within this very, very theocratic kind of context.
And there seems to be some cautious optimism on both sides about what this all really means. And I even read in one article, you know, a wondering about how much power does he really have? Because no matter how moderate he is, he still then has to work with the supreme leader, the Ayatollah Khomeini.
And one could even say work for the supreme leader, because given
better said.
The system, the supreme leader appoints the judiciary or dismisses the judiciary. He controls the armed forces and all of the levers of state. The president has the economy portfolio, but basically the term negotiator also came up in that previous report. He's going to have to negotiate his way toward change. And I think that's why people voted for him, because they think he is the man, he is the person to do this.
Let's talk about some things that have already happened before his election, and that is, you know, the pledge of Hezbollah fighters to support the Assad regime, as well as perhaps 4,000 troops, although we're not sure about this report being sent in. Is it within his power to sort of change the course of things that have already happened?
I would say most likely not, because again, that's not his responsibility. I think he can probably push for particular positions, but those decisions, for example, Robert Fisk of The Independent has reported that 4,000 Iranian troops are going to be sent to Syria to back the Syrian regime, to back President Bashir al-Assad. So that decision has been made. But the commander-in-chief of the Iranian military and the head of the elite Revolutionary Guard, that's the supreme leader. That is Ayatollah Khomeini.
How will his election affect the U.S.-Iran relations?
You have a lot of people hoping for a lot better than it has been under the,
which is not saying much. That doesn't put the bar very high.
Well, exactly. I mean, under President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, he was prone to inflammatory, bellicose kind of statements. But this is a man, Hassan Rouhani, who was the chief nuclear negotiator from 2003 to 2005. People in the West are familiar with him. And there are there's what we call guarded optimism, I think, coming from the U.S., certainly, coming from Israel. I mean, Shimon Peres has sort of said this is a repudiation of the old order. I think there's a lot of optimism there, guarded, but certainly optimism.
Okay, in the time that we have left, which is unfortunately not much, let's talk about Syria as much as we can.
Yes.
All right, so Vladimir Putin going head-to-head with David Cameron about how to deal with the Syrian conflict. I don't even know how to ask the question.
Yeah, well, the Russian position does not seem to be particularly flexible. They back Bashir al-Assad. They're accusing the U.S. and UK of backing the forces with blood on their hands, meaning that the Sunni rebels are the ones who are committing a fair number of the atrocities. So when Obama meets with Vladimir Putin this afternoon, I don't think there's any predicting what's going to happen, but I would say, I'm not a betting man, but I would say not much progress is going to be made, because the Russian foreign minister has come out firmly. He said that they will not allow a no-fly zone. Allow, not we won't let you consider it. We will not allow a no-fly zone, which is one of the moves that people like Senator John McCain have been pushing for.
Right. Well, and it's a good thing, because at least for now, the administration hasn't made a commitment to provide the no-fly zone.
Right.
But they have done annual exercises in Jordan that happened, and there was some very unusual activity in that these exercises happen every year.
Yes.
However, there was some important stuff left behind.
Indeed. Exercise called Eager Lion stresses irregular warfare, so that means special operations stuff. 19 countries, several thousand troops, goes from June 9 to June 20, so it's actually still going on. Chuck Hagel saying, we're going to leave behind some F-16s and some Patriot missiles. A hedge against Syria, I don't think he's necessarily said that, but certainly some relation to Syria, and also it offers Jordan some protection against whatever may happen in Syria. We also have to remember that, that Jordan has almost 500,000 Syrian refugees. Again, potential for destabilizing things.
Indeed. We're going to have to stop the conversation right there. But Brian Palmer, thank you always for your enlightenment. We'll see you again soon.